Hello, what energies can the new moon in Cancer, July 5th, 2024, have in store for us? How can we harness this new moon energy to create an emotional reset, to create a sacred space in our home, to boost our intuitive capacities or capabilities, to improve our family relationships, particular family members, and for an emotional reset and how we can level up our self-care. That's what we're going to look at today. Hi, I'm Laura with Heartdriven Tarot. We're going to do a 5-card reading, and the music selection I recommend, the relevant or associated music selection that goes along with a new moon is an old song, New Moon on Monday by Duran Duran. And I recall when I looked up the song, and I do remember it and I liked it, that Duran Duran was one of Princess Diana's favorite bands, apparently. That's a factoid that I came across a while back, but if that's of any interest to you. But it's a good song and I like Duran Duran. So we'll take a look at, we'll be doing this 5-card reading to take a look at how we can harness the energies to make and take the best advantage of this new moon energy. Also, because we're going to talk about how to improve our intuitive capabilities, I've recommended this book before, but it never gets old. Trust Your Vibes, 6 Tools for 6th Century Living by Sonia Choquette, who is an absolute intuition expert and psychic. She's one of the best psychics probably that exist, I think, because some of the experiences she shared with us at a weekend workshop I attended back in November 2014 were incredible. Just incredible capabilities that she has. I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see this 5-card reading. See what I'm selecting. 5 cards. The first card, well, I will explain that in just a moment. This first card is going to represent the emotional reset. What new feelings are emerging for you now? Second card relates to self-care. Third card, how can you create a sacred space in your home? Wow, all these major arcana. Whew, 4 out of 5 so far. How can you tune into your intuitive capabilities? And then finally, oh my goodness, 5 major arcana. That's incredible. The Hierophant. How can you improve relationships with your family members? Okay, we will jump right in. Sorry, but this camera is a little bit askew here. Jump right into the reading. Now, this is pretty amazing. I can't recall a time where I've had a major arcana card. And my dog is just popping into the room. Dawson's to my side. A major arcana card popping up for every single position. So that to me already suggests right off the bat that this new moon may be a powerful one. So let's start with the card number 1, emotional reset. What new feelings are emerging for you right now in this new moon in Cancer? And what the World card represents to me, of course, it's the time of, it's the completion of a cycle, because in the major arcana, of which there are 22 cards in the Rider-Waite deck, we go from 0, the Fool, to the World card, number 21. World card represents the completion, and often the harmonious completion of a cycle. And we see this young maiden dancing in the middle. She's naked, nude, suggesting her vulnerability, also suggesting her willingness to be basically her free spirit, I would say that it represents. We've got this huge laurel wreath that epitomizes and also represents celebration. Laurel wreaths are associated with celebration. And then we've got 4 major figures here, the powerful figures. You've got the ram's head, the lion's head, eagle, and this archangel's head. There's a lot of power in this image. And so what it suggests to me, if you're thinking about emotional reset, what new feelings are emerging for you right now, is that in this new moon, you may feel as if something has just been completed. A cycle is being completed, and you're ready to start something brand new. And of course, the season of Cancer and the energy of Cancer associated with Cancer is water and feelings and tapping into the feelings. So feeling energies, emotions. So this suggests to me that what's most important right now, and especially all of these cards are major arcana, is that you feel the completion of something significant in your life. And what's coming up is just acknowledging that and really tuning into your feelings, the feelings of celebration. That's what's coming to me now. It's a celebration time. And that's how you can move forward. This is your emotional reset, realizing, this particular cycle has come to a conclusion, and you can get enthusiastic about starting anew and just feeling sense of satisfaction, feeling that sense of celebration. That's what's coming to me in that first position. It's your emotional reset. Recognize your accomplishments, celebrate them, and be ready and energized to start something new. Now, the next card is, how can you level up your self-care? We've got the Magician reversed. Now, when upright, let me bring this a little bit closer. There you go. When upright, the Magician's one of my favorite cards, even though sometimes, and as I've mentioned in the past, every single tarot card has either positive or can have either positive or negative connotations, meaning associations. They're very nuanced, so it all depends on the position. Now, when upright, depending on the question, the Magician is someone who has all the tools of the tarot. Got the wand, the knife, the sword, the cup, and the pentacle or coin, all the elements. Now, given that this is reversed, and the question for this position is, how can you level up your self-care practice? I feel that this is advising you to definitely take time to turn within, meditate, and tune into your capabilities and also into your capabilities, and also to your creativity, so that you can come up with ways to improve your self-care. And that happens, I believe, best by turning within, taking time to sit, to get still, and tune in. And this is often the answer to any challenge that we have, or to any area in our life in which we want to move forward or achieve a particular goal. And I was mentioning this to a friend the other day about a particular business person who was trying to figure out how to promote his book, but not in the traditional way. He just didn't have the energy for that, didn't have the desire. And what he did was he turned within and tapped into his own creativity and to the associations, or to the value rather, of his particular book. And he came up with an amazing creative idea of how to promote that really promoted the book easily and effortlessly for him. So as far as self-care, leveling up your self-care, take some time to perhaps lie down or sit still and just listen. Listen to what your body may tell you that it needs. And I believe that the ideas will come, they'll start flowing to you effortlessly, and they will be the ideas that are tailored to your personal needs. Now, the next card relates to is the position of how can you make or create a sacred space in your home. And we've got the High Priestess reversed. Now, the High Priestess, when upright, card number 2 in the Major Arcana. She's this very mysterious woman. She has rather a poker face. You can't really tell what expression she has. A bit like the Mona Lisa, although you can't, in this particular image especially, I don't discern any type of smile. It's very much a stoic expression. Interestingly enough, when we're talking about the moon and new moon in Cancer and intuition, she's all about intuition. Her robes, and behind her there's a body of water, a lake, I believe, and her robe looks like it's reflecting the movement of the lake, that blue. So she's all about intuition. And so how can you create a sacred space in your home is, again, by turning within and intuitively getting some ideas about what can be improved, what can you do to beautify, to simplify, to create more, not just a sacred space, but maybe more space, so that there is a greater flow of ideas, of creativity. I know for myself, I'm really guilty. I have allowed clutter to pile up again in my home, in my condo. And when that happens, it definitely it restricts my creativity. It restricts the flow of energy. So I would say, how can you make a sacred space in your home is, again, by turning within and being open to some creative ideas from spirit. Just taking that time to be quiet. Seems like every solution comes from turning within, but that's what allows you to tap into spirit, and spirit is the highest source of wisdom. So turn within again, especially and think about, contemplate the high priestess as you do that, as if you were communicating with her and she was bestowing on you her tremendous intuitive wisdom. And you will have some ideas of how to create a sacred space, whether that means looking at some interior design, design ideas, design sites. I know I've gotten some ideas from this wonderful young lady, YouTube influencer, and she developed a great fascination for and interest in interior design, and she's got some wonderful videos on that, and it's given me ideas because I have a relatively small space, as does she. So turn within and tap into that creativity. Imagine you're communicating with the high priestess, and you should get some sparkling creative ideas on how to create a more sacred space in your home. Now the next card is interesting. This is the position of how can you boost and enhance your intuitive capabilities even more. And we've all been talking about turning within and meditating, etc. And we've got the Devil card here. Now that's not a card number 15 in the Major Arcana, that I would necessarily associate with boosting your intuitive capabilities, since we're talking about the new moon in Cancer. Cancer is associated with that water element and intuition. What we have here, though, we've got the devil figure, and the devil often has the negative connotations, but again, these images can have both positive and negative. What's coming to me intuitively is that, of course, we've got these Adam and Eve figures, and they appear to be bound and chained to the devil. And the devil is also associated with addictive addictions, addictive activities, addictions. But I think also the way he has his hand raised is reminiscent of, and you'll see right in the next card, the final card, the Hierophant, that benediction. It also comes as a stop sign to me. And so I would say, how can you boost your intuitive capabilities is by thinking about any areas of your life in which you may have some bad habits, some negative practices, some practices or lifestyle choices that are below par, that you know are not not ideal, are not helping you thrive physically, mentally, and spiritually, I'd say stop. That's what's coming to me right now, because that's binding you down, that's hampering you, it's preventing you from really being able to tap into your intuitive capabilities. So I would say the devil is reminding you, okay, look at what's been stopping you, what's been hampering you, what is negative, what negative practices you may have that are preventing you from thriving intuitively and from enhancing those capabilities. And this can be as simple as recognizing if you have negative self-talk, or if you have been dwelling on negativity. I know in the past week, because of certain events in the United States and the political realm, I have allowed myself to get really bogged down into negativity, into sometimes moments of despair. And that's what the devil thrives on, supposing, the devil for me is just the ego, the negative side of the ego. But anything, that's what I think is why the devil popped up into this position, is saying, stop and think about where you have been bringing yourself down, where you've been binding yourself and hampering yourself. That is what you need to release so that you can supercharge your intuitive capabilities. And then finally, the last position is, how can you enhance relationships with family members, particularly if there's anyone you've been having a challenge with. And we have here the Hierophant, card number 5 in the Major Arcana. So all Major Arcana for this reading. And the Hierophant is often a card that a lot of tarot readers find difficult to interpret, including myself. Some tarot readers associate this card with the government. I don't see how that is. I always see it as religious institutions. But how you can improve your relationship with a family member, if there's one that you really want to improve. I would say, we have here this priest or bishop type of figure. He's in front of his 2 acolytes. He's raising his hand in a benediction. I would say what's coming to my mind right now is tuning into whatever is your own spiritual sustenance. For me, the Hierophant represents that, the intimate, because it's associated, well, for me, the Catholic Church. I was not raised Catholic, but it reminds me of the Catholic Church, the bishop, is that, once again, tuning into spirit, but really focusing on how to tap into that energy, because spirit is the ultimate source of wisdom for any issue, for any problem. And especially if you've had a challenge with a family member, which can be very delicate because you're close, that often the only solution is to turn to spirit. A lot of us, including myself, too often turn to spirit as the last resort. But in fact, spirit, and however you want to interpret that, however you want to define that, is the ultimate source of wisdom, an ultimate source of solutions for resolving any problem. And I think that was the title of a book by Wayne Dyer, the late Wayne Dyer. I believe the title of the book was There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. And so I would say how to improve a relationship with a family member in this new moon season is to turn to spirit, however that you define that, whatever practice you benefit from the most. It doesn't mean going to a church necessarily. Some people find they can tap that wisdom by walking in nature, going to the mountains, going to the beach, or just sitting out in their yard looking at the trees. Think about what it is for you and pursue that path. And intuitive ideas will come to you, intuitive solutions should be able to come to you. So looking overall, we've got 5 major arcana cards in this reading. So that suggests that this new moon season in Cancer, new moon in Cancer, is a powerful time. It seems to be especially powerful because of these 5 major arcana cards. And hopefully this reading has been helpful for you in how you can boost your intuitive capabilities, how you can reset emotionally, and how you can create a sacred space in your home and improve family relationships. If you've not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, remember, illumine your mind, inspire your life with Heart-Driven Tarot.